What competitiveness means for us is enabling you to be competitive within your own businesses and within your own markets. Now, sometimes that's just about knowing who your competitors are. It's about knowing what they're up to on a local, regional or global basis and how to actually combat that. But sometimes it's about actually making game-changing decisions within your business to streamline, to change processes, to change the way you work in order to enable you to actually focus on what you want to focus on with your business. And that focus is on your customers, it's on growing your revenue, it's on being successful in your own markets, rather than concentrating on, I guess, the legacy processes or IT systems or such as that that may be holding you back. Again, you'll have also heard Andrew Fairgray and Lee Maddox talking about our partners. And as Vodafone, we're a global business, we have global partners. And again, I'm very pleased to be able to introduce to you Paul Bowkett, who's from our global partner Microsoft. And Paul's going to talk to you all about Microsoft Office 365 and how you can, in introducing it to your business, you can actually change the game and change the way you work. So, hand over to you now, Paul.
Great, thanks Richie. So we've been working with Vodafone here for last few months in New Zealand, but globally Microsoft and Vodafone have a global partnership, and we're really happy to be able to bring our Office 365 service through to the Vodafone customer base through Vodafone here locally in New Zealand. So just to kick off the session today, I wanted to talk a little bit about just sort of where Microsoft's going and sort of what's happening with this cloud thing. You've probably been to some other sessions today, talked about the kind of rise of cloud services. Really the kind of fundamental thing that's driving even companies just like Microsoft to develop our products for cloud services is this whole ubiquitous nature of mobility and device proliferation, right? There won't be anyone in the room here today that doesn't have a smartphone and potentially a tablet as well as their laptop. And you can see the global spend on cloud services now is approaching up to $100 billion in this year. So it's quite phenomenal. We're really in starting to a sort of a maturing kind of cloud services market. And Microsoft's no different, right? We're basically evolving all of our services and products to be cloud enabled and to bring those services really to our customers that use Office today, right from small businesses right up to the largest organisations in the world. And so I'll just give you a kind of a rundown of one of our primary services, which is Office 365. Most people think about Office 365 as, well, is it the next version of Office? Or is it only Office in the cloud? Or is it only on my desktop and I have to store my documents online? And hopefully I'm going to dispel some of those myths today. I'm going to actually give you a demonstration of the product. But the first thing you get with Office 365 is the Office client software. So you get the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, the tools that hopefully you know and love and use every day today. But you also get Office Mobile. So we recently announced Office for iPad, and everyone that has an Android, an iPhone and a Windows phone can now get Office Mobile for free as well. And on top of that, we also give you Office Online as part of Office 365. Office Online is basically web-based applications of Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Outlook all run through a browser. And I'll give you a demonstration of that as well today, kind of bring it to life a little bit. But really the crux of Office 365 is the services that power it. Most people today in business use something called Exchange Server. It's the premier messaging platform used by kind of about 90–95% of most of the world's businesses today, and it's typically implemented on on-premise servers. So what Microsoft now does is we host that technology for you as customers, and we manage the environment. So you get the business class email with calendar sharing and contacts and task management. We also give you something called SharePoint Online, which is our file sharing technology. So with SharePoint Online, you can use a browser to access all of your documents, to create team sites that you share information together with teams, and you can create extranet sites with which you can share information externally to other parties as well. And then we bring it together with the third kind of key pillar of the service, which is Link Online, which is our online video conferencing. So you can see there high definition video conferencing as well as instant messaging, voice, video, screen sharing. I'm going to give you a real-time demonstration of that today to bring it to life. And then we kind of wrap the service together with technical support included. We give you a financially backed SLA, and we give you a console that you can manage your environment. So no longer do you need to go over to the server and kind of administer your local installed applications. You can log in through a web browser and access the full management control of Exchange, SharePoint and Link all through a browser. And then the kind of key crux, I guess, of this whole cloud piece that really brings it to light is the access anywhere. And you'll see me doing that today on a number of different devices here as well. But why would you go Office 365? So the first thing is today most people buy Office and they get it in a box or they buy it through a volume license agreement from one of our partners, and you can only install that Office license on one computer. When you buy Office through Office 365, you get to put it on up to 5 computers, including your home PC, and you can install it on your tablet, your laptop, your iPad, your phone, and any other devices you happen to have at work. I haven't met anybody that's got 10 devices yet, but we support up to 10 devices per person, 5 PCs, 10 mobiles. Then we also synchronize all the files that you access. So on this computer here, I'm running a PowerPoint right now. The great thing is though, that I can go onto my phone, it'll show me my recently used documents, and I can open that PowerPoint on my phone or on my tablet computer as well. And then also we do all the kind of the management of the servers, I guess. You know, today it costs a lot of money for you to manage servers. You've got to maintain them, patch them. You've got to employ people to manage them. You've got to back them up. You've got to protect them. So Microsoft takes care of all of that for you. And our services all work seamlessly together, which you'll see in a moment. And then kind of probably the key point, just to close here before I go into a demonstration, is that we give you the control. It's hosted out of Microsoft data centers, but it's your data, it's your service, and you have full control over how you access it, what data you share with other people, and what data your users have access to, and including some of the security controls that we have as a large organisation around the world. We have kind of the highest level of data centre protection and security that you can have in a global data centre provider. So without further ado, I wanted to kind of jump into a product presentation. You know, a lot of presentations, kind of people tend to spend a huge amount of time with PowerPoint, but I really wanted to spend a bit of time just taking you through kind of what Office 365 looks and feels like, you know, to bring it to life. So we've only got a short amount of time today, so I'm going to kind of whip through some stuff quite quickly. This is the Office 365 admin portal. When you log in here, you can see the current service status right in the middle of the screen. So the green indicators there tell me right now, this is live by the way, that the service is all operational at the moment, there's nothing down. And that would be where you go and look at what's happening with the service if you needed to check on it. And down the left-hand side is where you can administer your users, set up you know, settings, domains, all of those kind of things. I won't spend too much time in here, but that's the kind of admin console. You'll see along the top of the screen there's a blue toolbar, and from there I can access my Outlook web app, my calendar, the contacts I have in my organisation, both my own ones and global contacts. And then we have something called a news feed, which is kind of like a Facebook wall, but with inside your company that you can use to track what other people in your company are doing. Think about it like a water cooler kind of concept. And then we also have the OneDrive service. So OneDrive is the new name for something we used to call SkyDrive. OneDrive gives you now a terabyte of storage for every person in your company to store and manage files online and offline as well. And I'll show you how that works in a moment. And then we can go into our SharePoint sites. So just to give you a feel what some of this looks like, here's an intranet site that's just simply sitting there running in a browser. It's obviously on the web. You can see the web address at the top there is a company name. It could be, imagine if it was Vodafone's, it would say vodafone.sharepoint.com, right? And so it's a standard kind of intranet that you'd expect. You've got all the standard things like search and menus and departments and things like that. I can share pages from here. I can follow this page. I can go into a different department, say like our documentation area here in the engineering department, and I'm going to be presented with a different view. If you think about this like a team site, or where you traditionally used to go in your H drive or your F drive to find documents for the engineering team, you now go to this site and those documents are now listed in this page. You can have lots of subfolders and all the kind of what we would call taxonomy, so you know how you file and store documents. And each one of these documents I can open in a browser. I can click on the little ellipsis button here. It gives me a preview of the document. I can share it out to other people. I can download it. I can run a workflow on this document. So maybe you've got an expense template or a leave request form. You can have those loaded in here and you kind of run a process from that. And what I've done earlier, just before, I've actually opened a couple of examples. But before I do that, I'm going to jump over to my OneDrive site as well. This is kind of the personal storage area that as a user I have within SharePoint Online. We call it OneDrive for Business. As I mentioned, you get a terabyte of storage in here, and it acts just like your standard Windows Explorer. And this is kind of the replacement for your My Documents folder. So when I save a file, if I go back to my PowerPoint that I've got running here, you can see if I click File, it's maybe a little bit hard to see this, the font's a little bit small, but this file has actually been stored up in my Microsoft OneDrive for Business folder in the cloud, but I have a local cached copy of this document, so I can open it here, and I can actually run, you can see it's actually offline at the moment. In the yellow it's saying it's offline. It's kind of hard to see, it's kind of yellow up there. That's an offline copy, so if I make changes to it now, the next time I hit an internet connection, it will synchronize my changes back up to the online store cloud storage for me. The other great thing about this though, if I go into, let me just turn off my notifications guys so we don't see all those emails coming in. So if I go back into my browser here, that same file that I'm accessing right now, the PowerPoint presentation we're doing today, is actually sitting in this folder. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my local Windows Explorer, click on Vodafone Event. So what I've done here on the right hand side of my screen is a standard Windows Explorer that you're used to every day at work, and the left hand side is my SharePoint site, and both of those folders are in sync. Does that make sense? And I've got a green tick next to them. I can store as many documents as I want locally and they'll sync up to my cloud service, and then I can open them in the browser and share those documents out as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open that one now. But what I did was I opened up an Excel spreadsheet before. I'm just going to pop this into full screen mode. Can anybody tell the difference between this and Excel on the desktop? It's pretty much a rich Excel experience right within the web browser. And the same occurs in Outlook, Word and PowerPoint. To give you just an example of kind of how real this is, just to make sure we're not looking at kind of a picture, I'm going to go and do some kind of editing in here. I'm going to say I want to insert a new pie chart. We'll just do it like that. You can see I've done a few of these charts before. I don't profess to be an Excel guru, but as you can see here, I can filter, I can slice and dice, and you get pretty much all the standard functionality that most people use every day in a web browser, right? So you don't necessarily need to have Office on your desktop. It's a great solution for people who are on the run, have an Android tablet without Office on it, in an internet cafe, at someone's computer that doesn't have Office on it, or if you wanted to have some casual workers in your organization access documents regularly, but you don't want to buy a copy of Office for them. So a great solution that comes as part of Office 365 with most of our plans. So I'm going to jump out of that as well now, and we'll go back to that PowerPoint I just opened. So here's PowerPoint running in a browser now as well, and you'll see here that basically I have full, well, I haven't gone into the edit mode now, but if I go into edit here, it'll give me the slide sorter view, it'll give me the animation, the transitions, menus and all those kind of things. And I can present this from any device. As long as I can get an internet connection, I can present that. So I don't have to store the documents on my local computer, but I can with the synchronization capability as well. So it's a little bit about SharePoint Online and OneDrive for Business. I wanted to jump into the, let's go into Outlook now. Just have a quick view of that. Some of you, particularly larger organisations, have been using Outlook Web Access for years. This is the new Outlook Web App client, and you'll see that we've slimmed down the UI quite substantially, so it's very, very straightforward, easy to use. And you can see here I've got an example of a file which I've shared with someone. So you get all the standard capability you expect in a browser, a web client, but we have a very rich kind of environment. You can tag and flag, categorize emails, put retention policies on them, all those kind of things. But this email here, I've shared a document now with someone called Barry White. If I hover over Barry's name, I'll get a pop-up window which allows me to interact with Barry as well. So I've actually shared that document out to him, and I can interact with him using Link. So I'm going to give you an example of Link in a moment, but we could both collectively log into that document at the same time and share the file, but also collaborate. So I would see everything he's typing in the document, and he would see everything that I'm doing as well. So it's kind of pretty neat solution. So just a little bit about Link now. I've got Link running here on my desktop, as well as through the browser. So you can do everything online if you want, but for a really kind of rich experience, you can see that in the Link client here, it's kind of like Skype, right? It's got a list of all of the people that I work with every day. In fact, I've got my team expanded out there. You can see that some people are in a call at the moment, some people are in a video conference, some people are away, some people are, what else is everyone doing? Conference calls, things like that. Heather's in a call which is on a mobile phone. It's a great example. So Link runs natively on all the main smartphone platforms. So you can dial into a Link conference call on a phone. In fact, you can actually, I don't recommend this, but if you're driving in Auckland traffic and you're stuck, you want to join a conference call, you can put your phone on your dash and connect to Link and actually view the PowerPoint and the presenter presenting that content for you. It's a pretty powerful solution. So let's go jump in and take a look at it. I've got, I think Matt here. Let me see if Matt's available. I kind of pinged him. Oh, here we go. So I pinged him before and said, hey, would you be able to help me out with a quick demonstration? So it's not pre-scripted or anything, but I'm just going to go ahead and give Matt a quick call. I'm just going to say, hi, Matt, you know, can we have a call, like so? And this is the kind of link window, if you like, that you kind of use and interact with. So I might go and just fire up my video right now. It gives me a preview as I start to present, so I can make sure I, you know, done my hair and all those kind of things. So it goes ahead and makes a call to Matt. I'm going to turn the volume up so you can hear that. Hey Matt, how's it going? You've got a dial tone in the background, that's kind of unusual. Oh. So he's switching from his computer, he probably has some background noise, to his headset. Hey Matt, how's it going? That sounds a bit better.
Hey, sorry Matt, just didn't have my headset on.
That's all good, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you helping me out. Would you be able to just show the guys here a quick screen sharing, maybe just share your desktop with me? That'd be great.
Definitely, no worries.
So the great thing about Link, guys, is that you don't have to have the Link software on your computer. I could actually schedule this meeting right now with a meeting request, standard Outlook meeting request, send that to everybody in the room. You can dial in through any web browser on a tablet or a computer, or you can connect using the device that you use, like an iPhone, Android, or Windows Phone, and you would then be able to see the same content that we're seeing right now. You can see it through the web browser or through the client app itself. And so Matt's just gone and shared that with me. If we had lots of people in this meeting, actually I'll show you what that will look like. If I click up here, see in the top left-hand corner, it tells me who the participants of this meeting is. And so if we had lots of people on this call, I would see everyone's status. I could ping them directly myself. I could poll them. We could do a whiteboard session in here. You can see Matt sharing something with me. You will see at the top of the screen, right in the middle, is a request control function. So I could actually, literally, Matt could do a request control of me, could take over my computer right now, and I could literally leave the room and he could carry on with the presentation. Sorry, Matt, didn't tell you about that. Forgot to mention that. And so, yeah, very, very powerful video conferencing. How many people here today spend lots and lots of money on teleconferencing equipment that sits in a room that never gets used because it's always booked or it's too hard to use the remote control? With Link, all you need is a cheap laptop with a video camera on it. You put it in every one of your meeting rooms, you give it to all your staff with Office 365, and you have a video conferencing solution instantly like that. All you need is a web connection. And you can see here that it's a pretty rich experience. I could share my desktop back and we could do all those kind of things. We can have whiteboard sessions. So very, very powerful. I'm going to jump out of there. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate your time.
No worries, Paul.
Talk to you later on. Thanks. So really, really powerful solution. We recommend everybody should take a look at Link. If you're doing any kind of collaboration, team meetings, all those things, Link is an absolutely brilliant solution for that. So that's just a really, really high level look at Office 365 in the browser, but I just want to just quickly show you, if I had a meeting request, if someone sent me a meeting request like this is an Outlook meeting request, this is what it would look like. I've got a join meeting button there. So you can click that, you fire up your browser and you can join the meeting. It's pretty straightforward. And the other great thing, if I hover over Barry's name here, it pops up with a dialog box and I can interact with Barry through IM, video, voice, straight from within Outlook. So productivity savings is huge. How many times do you call someone that you leave a voicemail, right? Phone tag, things like that, email tag. With Link, you don't have to do that anymore because you know when someone's available and you can tag them as well. So very, very powerful. That was a very, very quick snapshot of the service, and I just want to kind of wrap up very quickly. We've only got a couple of minutes or even a minute left. As you can see, you get enterprise class messaging based on Exchange Serve, the premier messaging platform used today by most businesses around the world. You can collaborate with your colleagues and customers. You can share files externally. You can synchronize your files up to the cloud and access them anywhere. You can access them on any device. You can get something like a tablet like this, which is the Surface device. And this is a tablet that converts into a laptop, right? And you can carry this, it can be a single device for you, and your office is in the cloud, and this is the only device that you need to do it. And you can connect to any document you need, you can have video conferencing calls, you can run your business from this kind of device now without any office at all. And that's really the key thing that we're trying to drive, that the cloud is enabling us to do today. So hopefully that's given you a quick kind of snapshot of that service. I wanted to kind of just really touch on that we have a stand outside here. I'm going to be around for the rest of today. I'm happy to do one-on-one demonstrations or answer any questions you've got at any time. And also I would just call out that we have all of these surfaces out there. The Nokia Lumia phones, Microsoft just acquired Nokia the other day, and so we're going to bring a lot of innovation to the mobile phone space with those services and with Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 for the phone. So come and have a chat to the team out there. We've got all the guys out there on that. And talk to your Vodafone account manager, please, about Office 365 and how you can add that to the current services you have from Vodafone.